Donald J. Trump's rise to wealth and political power is one of the most debated and unconventional stories in modern American history. Born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York, Trump entered the world with advantages few Americans ever experience. His father, Fred Trump, was a highly successful real estate developer who built thousands of middle-income housing units across New York City. From an early age, Donald was exposed to construction sites, property management, and deal-making. This environment shaped his understanding of money, leverage, and risk. However, Trump's story is not simply one of inheritance, it is a story of ambition, branding, controversy, and relentless self-promotion that would eventually carry him from real estate into entertainment and ultimately into the highest office in the United States. Trump's childhood was shaped by discipline and competition. Fred Trump believed strongly in toughness, structure, and financial self-reliance, values he instilled in his children early. Donald was sent to the New York Military Academy as a teenager, a decision he later said helped channel his energy and instill leadership skills. At the academy, Trump thrived in competitive environments, gaining confidence and authority among his peers. These formative years reinforced traits that would later define him: assertiveness, risk-taking, and a desire to dominate situations rather than compromise. Even as a young man, Trump showed little interest in subtlety. He wanted to win visibly, loudly, and decisively. Trump attended Fordham University briefly before transferring to the Wharton School of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania, one of the most prestigious business programs in the country. At Wharton, Trump studied economics and real estate, gaining technical knowledge to match his instincts. More importantly, Wharton gave Trump credibility in elite financial circles. While some debate how exceptional he was academically, there is little doubt that his education helped him understand large-scale finance and leverage. Trump graduated in 1968 and immediately joined his father's company, then called Elizabeth Trump and Son. Rather than remaining in the background, Donald quickly pushed to expand the business beyond Brooklyn and Queens into Manhattan. Fred Trump specialized in steady, government-subsidized housing projects, but Donald wanted something bigger and more glamorous. He was drawn to Manhattan's skyline, luxury hotels, and high-profile developments. Trump believed that prestige, visibility, and branding were as valuable as the buildings themselves. In the 1970s, he began negotiating major deals in Manhattan, including the renovation of the Commodore Hotel near Grand Central Station. This project marked Trump's first major independent success. Using tax abatements, loans, and political connections, he transformed the deteriorating hotel into the Grand Hyatt, instantly establishing himself as a major player in New York real estate. The Commodore Hotel deal revealed Trump's core business strategy: leverage other people's money, maximize publicity, and negotiate aggressively. Trump understood that perception could drive value. He cultivated relationships with politicians, bankers, and journalists, ensuring that his name appeared frequently in headlines. Even when projects were controversial, Trump embraced attention. He realized that fame itself could become an asset. Throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s, Trump expanded rapidly, acquiring properties, building towers, and attaching his name to everything he touched. His wealth grew not only from real estate profits but from the power of his personal brand. The 1980s were Trump's most flamboyant era. He built Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue, a gleaming symbol of luxury and ambition. The building became both a residence and a branding tool, representing Trump's image as the ultimate dealmaker. During this period, Trump also acquired casinos in Atlantic City, sports teams, and luxury assets such as yachts and hotels. He lived publicly and extravagantly, appearing regularly in tabloids and business magazines. Trump's wealth during this time was real but heavily leveraged. Debt-fueled expansion, and success depended on constant growth and favorable economic conditions. Trump's aggressive expansion eventually collided with economic reality. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, recession and over-leveraging hit his businesses hard. Several Trump-owned casinos and properties entered bankruptcy, and his personal finances came under serious strain. While Trump himself did not declare personal bankruptcy, his companies did multiple times. This period marked a major turning point. Trump faced ridicule in the press and skepticism from banks. However, he survived by renegotiating debt, selling assets, and relying on the enduring value of his name. The experience reshaped his approach to risk and reinforced his belief in resilience and negotiation. Rather than retreating from the public eye, Trump leaned into reinvention. He shifted focus from pure real estate development to licensing his name instead of owning buildings outright. Trump began allowing developers to use the Trump brand in exchange for fees and royalties. This strategy dramatically reduced financial risk while maintaining high visibility. Trump-branded hotels, condos, and golf courses appeared worldwide. The Trump name became a global symbol of luxury, regardless of ownership structure. This pivot marked one of Trump's smartest business adaptations, allowing him to rebuild wealth while preserving status and influence. Trump's wealth recovery coincided with his growing presence in popular culture. He made cameos in movies, appeared on television, and became a recognizable celebrity beyond business circles. His blunt speaking style and confidence resonated with audiences. Trump understood media intuitively, often saying that attention, positive or negative, was beneficial. This media savvy laid the foundation for his next major breakthrough. Trump was no longer just a businessman. He was becoming a cultural figure, recognized across socioeconomic and political lines. In 2004, Trump launched The Apprentice, a reality television show that transformed his public image. On the show, Trump played the role of decisive executive, judging contestants with the now iconic phrase, "You're fired." The show was a massive success, introducing Trump to millions of viewers who knew little about his earlier financial struggles. The Apprentice portrayed Trump as the embodiment of business success, authority, and leadership. This carefully crafted image was more powerful than balance sheets. Television amplified Trump's brand far beyond real estate, cementing him as a household name and restoring his reputation as a master dealmaker. As Trump's fame grew, so did his political commentary. He had flirted with politics for decades, occasionally expressing interest in running for office. Trump publicly criticized trade deals, foreign policy decisions, and political elites, often positioning himself as an outsider willing to challenge the system. These statements resonated with many Americans frustrated with traditional politics. Trump's wealth allowed him to speak freely, without relying on donors in the same way as conventional politicians. This independence became a central theme in his eventual political identity. Trump's first serious political consideration came in the late 1990s when he briefly explored a presidential run under the Reform Party. Although that effort never materialized, it demonstrated his growing interest in politics. Over the years, Trump used interviews, books, and social media to shape political narratives. He questioned leadership decisions and positioned himself as a strong negotiator who could protect American interests. By the early 2010s, Trump had built a loyal following that extended well beyond business fans, setting the stage for a formal political campaign. In 2015, Donald Trump announced his candidacy for President of the United States. The announcement was met with skepticism from political experts, media commentators, and even members of his own party. However, Trump's campaign style immediately stood out. He spoke directly, rejected political norms, and dominated media coverage. His wealth and celebrity allowed him to bypass traditional campaign strategies, relying instead on constant visibility. Trump framed himself as a political outsider who could not be bought, a message that resonated with voters disillusioned by establishment politics. Trump's campaign focused heavily on economic nationalism, immigration control, and criticism of global trade agreements. He argued that his business experience made him uniquely qualified to renegotiate deals and restore economic strength. Supporters viewed his success in business as proof of competence, while critics questioned the depth of his achievements. Regardless, Trump's message was clear and consistent. He positioned himself as a fighter, promising to disrupt Washington in the same way he disrupted industries. His campaign rallies became spectacles, drawing massive crowds and intense media attention. Social media played a critical role in Trump's political rise. Platforms like Twitter allowed him to bypass traditional media filters and speak directly to millions. Trump used this tool aggressively, shaping narratives, responding to critics, and energizing supporters. His online presence amplified his personality, unfiltered, confrontational, and confident. This approach kept him constantly in the news and allowed him to control the conversation. It also reinforced his brand as an unconventional leader willing to challenge norms. Trump's wealth was both an asset and a point of controversy during his campaign. He frequently emphasized that he was self-funded, suggesting independence from special interests. While this claim was debated, the perception mattered. Many voters believed Trump could not be controlled by donors or lobbyists. His business background became symbolic of competence in an era of economic uncertainty. Trump framed government as a failing enterprise and himself as the executive who could fix it. Despite early predictions of failure, Trump won the Republican nomination. His victory reflected a broader shift in American politics, where frustration with traditional leadership fueled outsider candidates. Trump's campaign tapped into economic anxiety, cultural change, and distrust of institutions. His ability to command attention and simplify complex issues into memorable slogans proved effective. The election became less about policy detail and more about identity, leadership style, and change. In November 2016, Donald Trump won the presidency, completing one of the most unexpected political ascents in U.S. history. His victory stunned political analysts and redefined assumptions about campaigning. Trump had leveraged wealth, fame, and branding to cross from business into governance. The skills that built his fortune: negotiation, publicity, and risk-taking had also propelled him into power. His presidency would be controversial, but his path too. It was undeniably unique. Trump's story illustrates how wealth can create opportunity beyond traditional paths. His financial resources allowed him to take risks, recover from failures, and remain visible during setbacks. However, money alone did not explain his rise. Trump understood branding better than most. He sold confidence, success, and strength as products. These qualities resonated in both business and politics. Critics argue that Trump exaggerated aspects of his wealth and success, while supporters argue that perception itself is power. Both perspectives highlight a key truth: Trump mastered narrative control. Whether in real estate, television, or politics, he shaped how people saw him. This skill proved as valuable as capital or connections. Trump's rise challenges traditional definitions of success and leadership. Trump's entry into politics blurred the line between celebrity and governance. He proved that modern political power is closely tied to media influence. His campaign and presidency reflected changing voter expectations, where authenticity, real or perceived, often mattered more than experience. Trump's background allowed him to speak as an outsider while operating within elite circles. Financial independence gave Trump freedom, but it also placed him under intense scrutiny. His tax history, business dealings, and wealth claims became constant topics of debate. This scrutiny did not weaken his appeal among supporters. In many cases, it strengthened it. Trump framed criticism as evidence that he was challenging powerful interests. Trump's journey from wealth to politics was not accidental. It was the result of decades spent building a recognizable identity. Every building, television appearance, and headline contributed to that trajectory. Politics became another arena for the Trump brand. Unlike traditional politicians, Trump approached governance as negotiation. He emphasized loyalty, leverage, and deal-making. These methods reflected his business background, for better or worse. His supporters admired his decisiveness. Critics questioned his consistency. Regardless, his style was unmistakable. Trump's rise reshaped political norms. Future candidates studied his use of media, messaging, and branding. His success demonstrated that political capital could be built outside traditional institutions. Wealth, when combined with visibility, could bypass gatekeepers. Trump's story also highlights the risks of leveraging identity as power. When politics becomes personal branding, governance can become polarized. Trump thrived in conflict, often framing opposition as personal attacks. This strategy energized supporters but deepened divisions. From real estate heir to billionaire businessman to television star and president, Trump's life reflects adaptability. He failed publicly, recovered publicly, and reinvented himself repeatedly. This resilience played a critical role in his political rise. Trump's wealth provided opportunity, but his ambition provided momentum. He consistently sought larger platforms, greater influence, and broader recognition. Politics became the ultimate stage for that ambition. Whether viewed as inspirational or controversial, Trump's rise cannot be ignored. He altered how Americans think about leadership, success, and power. His journey reflects broader cultural and economic shifts. In the end, Donald Trump's path to wealth and politics is a story of inheritance, risk, branding, failure, reinvention, and influence. It demonstrates how money, media, and personality can intersect to reshape history. His rise remains one of the most defining narratives of the modern era.